5 black gems that you'd never guess are found in nature. When you think of gemstones, you probably imagine light, brilliant reds, deep blues, radiant greens. But hidden beneath the surface of the earth lie stones that defy expectation. Stones that don't shine, they consume. Gems so black, so profoundly dark, you'd swear they couldn't possibly be natural. But they are, and they are among the rarest ever found. These aren't your average crystals. They are relics forged under immense pressure, birthed from volcanic rage or ancient oceans, cloaked in secrecy and shadow, worn by warriors, feared by mystics, revered by those who know that power doesn't always come with a shine. In this video, we're going deep, not just into the earth, but into the hidden chambers of history, myth, and science. From stones that hold fire inside darkness, to others that remember the dead, these are 5 black gems you'd never guess are real, let alone natural. Dim the lights, steal your curiosity, because this is the dark side of beauty. Ranked 5th, black opal, the fire in the void. Not all fires rage in open air. Some are buried, hidden so deep within the earth's crust that they forget what daylight feels like. But they wait, they smolder, and when they finally rise, they don't emerge quietly. They detonate. That's the essence of black opal, a stone where darkness becomes the very stage upon which the universe performs its most colorful spectacle. It doesn't just glimmer, it erupts. Black opal, known as the fire in the void, is nature's most rebellious masterpiece. Most gems are praised for transparency, clarity, polish. Not black opal. It is opaque, wild, impossible to predict. Imagine a star field trapped inside coal. Imagine magma glimpsed through a tear in the night sky. That's what dances across a black opal surface. Red, green, neon violet, spectral blue, all igniting across a body as dark as deep space. Each black opal is made of millions of silica spheres, stacked in near-perfect grid-like arrangements. Light enters the stone, bends, bounces, and interferes with itself, creating what scientists call play of color. But here's the thing, that same structure exists in regular opals too. So what makes black opals different? It's the background. Just like a painting bursts into life when hung on a dark gallery wall, the rainbow inside a black opal is sharper, more vivid, more defiant. It doesn't shimmer politely. It demands attention. But nature doesn't hand out this gem easily. True black opal, real gem-grade specimens, are found in only one place on Earth, the searing red clay of Lightning Ridge, Australia. There, beneath a landscape that looks like it belongs on Mars, miners endure broiling summers, venomous wildlife, and years of dry wells for a chance, just a chance, at uncovering a sliver of this black fire. But then, a shimmer, a stone, not much larger than a coin, blazing with color that seems alive. That's a black opal. Indigenous Australians, particularly the Kamilaroi people, knew of this long before the rest of the world caught on. To them, these stones were sacred, footsteps left by ancestral spirits as they walked across the land during the Dreamtime. And when European colonists arrived, they couldn't decide whether these gems were a blessing or a curse. Today, a top-quality black opal can fetch millions, not just because it's rare, but because no two are alike. Each one is a fingerprint, a fossilized explosion, a story frozen in mineral form. And make no mistake, this gem is as much warrior as it is artwork. It may be a soft stone, measuring just 5.5 to 6 on the Mohs scale, but it carries the scars of millennia, formed from the slow percolation of silica-rich water into ancient voids left by decayed fossils. It's not just a gem, it's the memory of a flood, of oceans long vanished, of bones turned to dust and replaced by flame. When you wear a black opal, you're not just wearing beauty, you're wearing defiance, a challenge hurled at time and pressure and chaos, answered with color. That's why it opens this list, because among black gems, it's the one that burns, that whispers and roars. That proves darkness can be a cradle, not a coffin, for the most untamed brilliance the earth can create. When you see a black opal, remember, it waited millions of years for one moment, to show you that even in the void, Fire survives. Ranked fourth, Black Spinel, the imposter that outsmarted kings. Not all deception is sinister. Some lies are so beautiful, so flawless, they become legends in their own right. And no gem has played the role of imposter more masterfully, more elegantly than Black Spinel. They call it the imposter that outsmarted kings, and not without reason. For centuries, Spinel was mistaken for sapphire, diamond, even ruby. In fact, some of history's most prized rubies and royal crowns are actually spinels in disguise. But unlike its crimson cousins, Black Spinel doesn't wear scarlet robes. It wears a cloak of perfect, mirror-like black, a surface so smooth it doesn't reflect light. It seduces it. To the untrained eye, it could be a black diamond. But peer closer and you'll find something different. Something cleaner, deeper, more self-assured. Its polish isn't flashy, it's precise. Cut properly, it gleams like wet obsidian, but with a life that pulses beneath the surface. No treatments, no enhancements, just natural clarity from a gem that's long refused to be known by name. It forms in metamorphic limestone, forged under immense heat and pressure, and is found in select regions of Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Vietnam, and Madagascar. But even in those lands, true, gem-quality black spinel is astonishingly rare. Most stones are too cloudy or fractured. Only a handful emerge worthy of cutting, and fewer still with that signature jet black, glass-like face. But rarity isn't why it belongs here. It's how black spinel behaved while the world looked away, while diamonds paraded in spotlight and sapphires danced in silk. Black spinel sat quietly in royal vaults and cathedral relics. Misunderstood, misnamed, misjudged. It let the world call it something else, and in doing so, it outlasted them all. Because unlike black diamonds, which can be brittle or heavily included, spinel is clean, strong. It ranks 8th on the Mohs hardness scale, right behind sapphire. That makes it ideal for everyday wear, tough enough to survive impact, refined enough for elegance. Collectors love it for another reason. It has a soul. Black spinel doesn't scream. It whispers. It's the gem for those who want quiet power, who don't need their jewelry to flash, only to last. Spiritually, black spinel is said to absorb negativity, sharpen the mind, and offer emotional grounding. Not with fire, with focus. It's not a warrior's blade. It's the strategist's shield. Protective, yes, but above all, intelligent. In a world obsessed with status, black spinel is the reminder that truth doesn't always wear a name tag. That legacy isn't just about being seen, it's about being remembered. It doesn't need fame, it has history. So the next time someone mistakes spinel for something else, don't correct them. Smile. Because the greatest trick this gem ever pulled was pretending it needed to be anything but itself. It didn't imitate the crown, it became it. Ranked third, black garnet, the war stone forgotten. Some gemstones glimmer with romance, others whisper tales of mystery. But black garnet, this stone doesn't whisper. It stands in silence, heavy with memory. They call it the war stone forgotten. Because black garnet wasn't born to dazzle. It was forged to endure. When most people hear garnet, they picture vivid reds, the kind that adorn noble rings, knight's hilts, and Renaissance brooches. But buried deeper in the earth, hidden within layers of volcanic metamorphosis, exists a darker version. One stripped of cheer, one shaped not by love, but by conflict. Andradite, the subspecies of garnet that, when saturated with enough iron, turns jet black. Its rarest variety? Melanite, a name that already sounds like steel in the throat. Polished properly, it reflects like obsidian, but with an edge. There's no softness here, no play of color, just a mirror black sheen, sharp as a memory. It doesn't try to impress you, it sizes you up. Historically, black garnet never got the fame of its red or green siblings. It wasn't showcased in coronations or whispered about in royal courts. It didn't sparkle at masquerade balls or shimmer in stained glass halls. Instead, it was buried, in trenches and catacombs, in the armor of forgotten soldiers. That's right, armor. In medieval Europe, Black garnets were thought to protect warriors from blades and betrayal. Some embedded them into chainmail. Others carried them as talismans, tucked close to the heart, not for style but survival. The stone was said to absorb fear and turn it into focus. Not magic, not fantasy, intention. Because black garnets are different. Geologically, they form under extreme pressure, where limestone meets magma, where Earth's crust buckles from tectonic stress. These aren't calm environments. These are collision zones where rock meets force and nothing comes out unchanged. That's why black garnet is rare, not just in beauty, but in origin. You'll find traces in Austria, Russia, and parts of Mexico. But gem-quality melanite? That's another story. Most are too brittle to cut, too vain to polish. When you find one that's clean, it feels like unearthing a survivor from some forgotten age. On the Mohs scale, it rates between 6.5 and 7.5. Not as hard as spinel, not as delicate as jet, but dense, surprisingly dense. Hold one in your hand and you'll feel it. The weight, the presence, like it's been through something. Black garnet isn't fashionable. It doesn't trend on Instagram, but among metaphysical circles, it's considered a stone of grounding in transformation. Not the soft kind, the honest kind, the kind that demands reflection, forces confrontation, and helps rebuild from ashes. It's the stone of shadow work, the stone of old warriors learning peace, the gem for those who've fought battles not everyone sees and lived to rise again. In ancient times, melanite was used in mourning jewelry, not because it symbolized death, but because it reminded the living to carry on. It's not funereal. It's resilient, and that's why it earns its place here. Because when you wear black garnet, you don't wear sparkle, you wear steel, you wear scars polished into beauty, you wear the memory of fire and the choice to survive it. It's not just a gem, it's a monument to pressure, to pain, to power reclaimed. Ranked second, Black Zircon, the light trapped in time. Beneath layers of ancient crust, beyond where most gems dare form, lies one of the oldest minerals on Earth. Black zircon, not synthetic cubic zirconia, not the glittery diamond substitute sold at tourist stalls. No, this is something far rarer, far older, a relic of Earth's first breath, and in its darkest form it's known as the light trapped in time. At first glance, black zircon doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't sparkle like diamond or shimmer with opal's fire. It's heavier, denser, deeper. Yet hidden within its midnight body is a story billions of years old, literally. Some zircons date back 4.4 billion years, making them older than the moon itself. That's not just a number, that's time crystallized. In its blackest form, zircon carries traces of uranium and thorium, giving scientists clues about the Earth's early crust. But for gem lovers and collectors, black zircon is something else entirely. A contradiction. It's a dark gem with intense luster. It's opaque, yet still flashes brilliance. And it's one of the few stones that can be both mysterious and transparent at once, depending on how the light decides to play. Formed deep under intense geological pressure, natural black zircon is mined primarily in Sri Lanka, Cambodia, and parts of Africa. But clean, faceable specimens are exceedingly rare. Even rarer are those that escape treatment, because most zircon on the market is heated to improve clarity or color. Not these. The best black zircons are untouched, ancient, silent, watching. On the Mohs scale, zircon rates around 6 to 7.5, and although it's not the toughest gem, it makes up for it with brilliant dispersion, meaning it splits light like a prism. That means even in its shadowy form, it occasionally flashes with ghostly fire. Subtle glints of gold or blue like memory trying to resurface. In spiritual circles, black zircon is believed to clear energetic fog, cut through illusion, and protect against deception. It doesn't amplify your voice. It clarifies your truth. Worn by scholars, seekers, and those who feel ancient in their bones, it serves not as an ornament, but as a compass. And that's what makes it powerful. Not its fame, not its price tag, but its perspective. Because black zircon doesn't tell you who you are. It shows you how far you've come. In the first place, serendipite, the shadow rarer than diamond. There are rare gems. And then there's serendipite, a stone so elusive, it might as well be myth. Most people will never see one. Some jewelers will never hold one. And even among elite collectors, a single carat of gem-quality serendipite is enough to cause a quiet frenzy. Because this isn't just a black gem. This is the black gem, the one whispered about in vaults and passed like a secret. They call it the shadow rarer than diamond. And they're right. First discovered in 1902 in Sri Lanka, once known as Serendib, this gemstone is forged under volcanic pressure few minerals can survive. A mix of calcium, magnesium, aluminum, and boron, serendipite forms in skarn deposits, where molten rock meets limestone in violent fusion. And only under perfect conditions does it darken to its most coveted shade, a pure, absolute black, deeper than obsidian, more magnetic than onyx, and heavier than it looks. But what truly sets serendipite apart isn't just its darkness, it's its rarity. Gem-quality serendipite is so scarce that only a handful of faceted stones exist in the world. The most famous, just 0.35 carats, sold for over $14,000. Not because it was flashy, but because it shouldn't exist. That's what makes it a crown jewel among collectors. Not sparkle, not size, existence. It doesn't glitter, it absorbs. It doesn't beg for light, it swallows it whole. And yet, in the right cut, it can flash the faintest green or blue undertones, like starlight trying to escape a black hole. Symbolically, serendipite is seen as a gem of cosmic perspective. It's said to connect the bearer with eternity, reminding us of how small we are and how miraculous it is that something so dark could even be real. You don't wear serendipite to show off. You wear it to remember the weight of time, to carry silence, to hold proof that the earth, even in its most violent moments, can still create miracles. And that's why serendipite stands at the top of this list. Because sometimes the rarest treasure isn't the one that shines brightest. It's the one that refuses to shine at all and still takes your breath away. Some stones shine to be seen. Others remain unseen to be remembered. These 5 black gems aren't just minerals, they're mysteries. Born of pressure, time, and silence, they've endured eons in shadow while the world chases light. But the deeper you look into them, the more they reveal. Not just about the earth, but about us. Because in a world obsessed with brilliance, sometimes it's the darkest stones that carry the deepest truths. If one of these gems spoke to you, left a trace in your memory, let us know in the comments. And if you crave more journeys into the hidden, the rare, and the powerful, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Until next time. Remember, not all treasures glitter, some simply endure. In silence, in shadow, unforgettable.